defeats and a draw. He comes to us from Puerto Cabello, Venezuela, now fighting out of Asheboro, North Carolina. Please welcome Marcos Terminator Primera. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the stars and bars and weighing in at 161 pounds. This 2000 U.S. Olympic medalist now has a perfect professional record consisting of 14 bouts, 14 victories, including 10 knockouts. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the pride of Little Rock, Arkansas, Jermain Bad Intentions Taylor.
Tell you what I expect of you. Both of these are good. Anything underneath here is going to be low. Is that understood? Shake hands, come out boxing.
So the obligatory stare, and Jermain Taylor's right up there at championship level. And with that, we're set to go. Jermain Taylor with the hometown in his corner.
Right away that Primera is pretty much the same size as Jermain Taylor. I've seen him a lot against middleweights that were a little bit shorter, maybe didn't have quite the reach, and that's not the case for Primera.
Flicking the long jab out.
The win over Dante Craig that Primera had in Las Vegas, which was an upset win, was a very, very impressive win. He dominated Craig and took him out in the 8th round. Jermain Taylor, if you've never seen him fight before, has a superb jab, likes to throw combinations, and he is an excellent body puncher.
Left hand by Primera. Taylor brings that right hand behind the left. It's very quick.
Primera, in talking to us, said that if there's one thing about Taylor that he's noticed that might be something you can exploit, he said there is sometimes a mechanical nature to what Taylor does. Same combinations over and over, etc. I don't know that that's true, but maybe that is one criticism of Taylor right now.
Jab with Taylor working very effectively in this first round.
Left by Jermain Taylor. He's not by stock and trade a counter punch.
Jermain Taylor had to grow up very quickly. His father left the family when he was 5 years old. He had 3 younger sisters that he almost literally had to become the man of the house and raised to go out with his friends much. He uses his grandmother as inspiration. Put a story there too. Good on Tam.
See the hand screwed in Taylor.
Grandmother was shot and killed by his uncle, who then, 3 days later, killed himself. And she was very inspirational in his growing up. And the last thing he does is say a little prayer and dedicate the fight to his grandmother.
He says that because he has so much responsibility as a youngster now as an adult, he feels like he's trying to have the fun he couldn't have when he was a youngster. He's having some fun right now against Marcos Primera.
Yeah, he really is. He's looking very sharp. Keep in mind that the crowd is going to react much more to Taylor's punches than they will to anybody else that we've seen tonight.
Nice work. Just keep it straight and the patience. You keep control with the jab. When he gets up right, when he jabs. When he bends his legs, he ain't doing shit. So pop that jab in there. okay? The right hand, you're starting to see that right hand.
A little bit more this round, okay? A little bit more quickness getting up, okay? Let's put them together now. Let's put them together. You have every bit as much quickness. Let's get the quickness going this round, okay? That's okay. Let's get it going this time. That's one round. Good work.
Jermain Taylor has all the punches. There you see him throwing a couple of left hooks, doubling up with that punch. There is no punch he doesn't throw well. He throws the uppercut, the hook, the jab, straight right hand.
Round number 2, and in the corner, just asking for more of what he did in round 1, which was very effective.
They had to change sparring partners, Taylor did, when Marcos Primera came in as the opponent 3 weeks ago after Brian Barbosa fell out of this fight. And they had to change the effect because Barbosa's a shorter fighter, fighting more in a Joe Frazier type of style who would come in after you. And obviously, as you can see, Primera gives you a different look.
Taylor just not letting Primera get off.
Primera is a puncher. He has a good right hand. He's looking to try and load up and land that punch. He's trying to use his own jab, which of course would be a very effective weapon. The way to nullify someone else's jab is use your own.
Really getting out quick, though, early in this fight. Jab by Taylor. Taylor using the jab almost exclusively in this round. Good right hand. I think that got Primera's attention. It's another good right hand. Primera's really there for the right hand. Look where his left hand is.
Primera trying to use some gamesmanship, talking to Taylor and letting him know that those power punches did nothing, but they landed and they count.
Yeah, and I'm not sure they did nothing. End of 2. Incidentally, that round was mistimed. That round was 2 minutes instead of 3.
And that may have been a break for Marcos Primera, who, of course, was taking some big punches.
Okay, dig it.
You would think in the hometown of Jermain Taylor, they wouldn't cut short a round where he's doing well.
No, you're not kidding.
He's looking for one damn punch. That's all. After you ride a little bit, rip those darn ribs. So, listen, you see him doing this, right?
We see Jermain Taylor. There's some of that vaunted body work that we've talked about, and the right hand curling around the defense of Primera. Now we can see in the replay that those punches were partially blocked, but nevertheless they had some impact. And there, Almoeda will give a warning for using the shoulder to Jermain Taylor. And Primera continuing to talk to him as Taylor threw those combinations, trying to intimidate the young fighter.
Taylor has not allowed Primera, though, to do any business of his own. Again to start things, and Primera again says, come on. But I mean, Primera's really there for the right hand. His left hand is at his side.
You know, Pat Burns said they come up with a phrase before every fight when they're training. This one was, you need to will yourself on your opponent. And what they meant by that was to really concentrate and block out everything that would happen from this home crowd and this environment, and just will yourself to win this fight against Primera. And the concentration level of Jermain Taylor has been excellent.
He really does look all business there. Primera slipped the jab in, but again, he keeps that left hand down there. He is going to get clocked.
Those are the combinations for Taylor. Primera trying to get him out of his game and play some gamesmanship with him, but Taylor just doing what he needs to do, and that is continuing to punch.
Interesting when Chuck Zito was talking to Primera, seemed very calm, very soft-spoken. Not
Almoedoff's not liking it.
Good body work by Taylor. You don't often find in a young fighter like Taylor a guy who not only is willing to throw body shots, but throws them as effectively as he does.
Yeah, he wants to go downstairs and has, in fact, knocked out several of his opponents with body shots. One of the most notable examples was Lionel Ortiz down in Florida in a fight I saw. He just destroyed him to the body. It's twice now Taylor's been using that shoulder. Crowd not liking it. Go figure.
Primera now lives in North Carolina. Asheville, building his own house and building it by himself. Good right hand there by Primera stepping in.
Now the key element here is that Burns said it. We're seeing some flashy punches landed by Taylor, some good punches, and look at that left hand. But you see Primera not backing up, and that's what Pat Burns said was the danger in this fight. This guy won't quit. They do not think that he's going to quit.
And he's taking a lot of punches. You're absolutely right.
And those were good punches.
Yes.
Those were good, sharp, strong punches by Jermain Taylor. And Pat Burns was really almost saying in front of his fighter, we're going to see how you react when a guy doesn't go down for enough.
He's still Primera saying, come on, come on. He's still going to beat him. But he's right there.
And those were nice combinations.
Yes, they are. Well, you got to like what you're seeing of Jermain Taylor here.
Nice round. Nice round. Breathe and relax. Breathe and relax. Oh, you're breathing down. Doing a good job, son. Okay, it's important. You're busting his face up real good. He's starting to stand up a lot more now, okay? He's giving you those body shots.
Jermain Taylor, very good combination punching in this last round. And there you see a perfect example of it. But Primera trying to take him off his game, trying to intimidate the young fighter by talking to him constantly. Taylor wouldn't fight, however, and just stayed about his business. Here was where he would get a warning by Almoedoff, Jermain Taylor, for using the forearm against Primera. So that's a veteran's trick by the youngster. And at the end of the round, here was that beautiful combination. Love those double left hooks to the body by Jermain Taylor. Very impressive.
Yeah, he's been very impressive all along. And not being distracted by Primera's talking, as you said. And one of the reasons for that, actually, he and Pat Burns watched the movie Bagger Vance together. And they used the Bobby Jones character in that movie and his ability to blank everything out except what's going on directly in front of him with the business at hand to get inspiration out of their fighter, out of Taylor. And I don't know whether Bagger Vance is doing it or not, but somebody in there is doing it.
He wants a mystical figure. He might be in the ring with him right now. Who knows? I think I see Will Smith somewhere. You know, what fascinates me about that and little sayings, if there wasn't a lot of X's and O's that went into their training, you might think of it as smoke and mirrors. But it's really not. It's about getting him ready both mentally and physically for a fight.
Well, and how much of this sport is mental?
Yeah.
A good portion of it.
Good double left hooks, and Primera trying to act like nothing happened. And guess what? It's possible Jermain Taylor could do this over 10 rounds, and Primera wouldn't get knocked out. Of course, he would end up with a win. So he's testing Jermain Taylor's patience here.
So far, I think Taylor's been the whole package. An excellent jab. Look at that jab. Actually knocked his head back. Really sharp jab.
And again, it brings us back to the important point as we assess Jermain Taylor right now. The one thing we know he can do all this. We know that he has tremendous hand speed, good power. What we don't know is when a really good middleweight who can punch cracks and what will happen.
That's always the question at hand. And Primera, even though he's not throwing a lot of punches, he's not been able to throw a lot of punches, does have some pop.
Well, yeah, just ask Dante Craig, who was whacked by him.
That was a good left hand. Primera, I don't think he's going to shake that one off. The other thing I like about Taylor is he doesn't waste a lot of punches.
No, he threw a combination there, couldn't land another one, so what did he do? He stepped back, and then he didn't get hit by Primera. It's not easy to counterpunch Jermain Taylor because he brings his hands back very quickly, and he's always ready to step to the side if he thinks you're going to hit him.
He's very balanced, too. For a young fighter, he just doesn't make a lot of mistakes. To an uppercut uppercut in there. And there's a right hand to the back of the head that drops Primera. About 4 punches, and the one that sent him down was a shot to the back of the head.
6, 7, 8.
Primera now covering up. And Taylor just right on it. Boy, does he look sharp.
And what does he do? He takes a step back to assess his damage and figure out what he can do to make it better. That's not normal for a 24-year-old with only as much experience as he has.
Primera is tough on your back.
Well, he said he wouldn't quit. Pat Burns said he wouldn't quit. And there's evidence of it right there. But this crowd loves what they're seeing.
Well, it's been a clinic so
How
far.
much longer you want to let it go, but he's not going to win the fight. We're fighting the way he's fighting.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Did you hear that? Okay, now we got to listen to that. We got to get busy out there, Marcos. Too reactive. Too reactive. You got to get busy with this guy. All right? You got to start taking it to him. Fast speed, Marcos.
You can save him for another day.
Here we take a look back at the variety of punches used by Jermain Taylor. Jabs, hooks, straight right hands, jabs. And after he had him in trouble, what did he do? He went back down to the body as well. So we see a terrific variety from Jermain Taylor, and it all culminated in the knockdown of Primera. And there you see it. In that sequence, you saw just about everything a boxer can do to be effective. And it even included the right hand to the body.
And did you hear Almoedo go in the corner of Primera between the rounds and say, you're not going to win the fight like that. But, you know, I'm not so sure that it is that Marcos Primera wants the fight. I think it's just more that Taylor's not allowing him to get off.
The hand speed is the key element. You made the point in the first round. He's being out quick. When you face a fighter with that kind of blinding hand speed, it's very difficult to do what you want to do.
Look at that jab and circling. Primera, Almoedo says, don't grab him by the back of the head.
I like that Almoedo is roughing this as objectively as any human can possibly do it. That's good. That's what it's supposed to be.
Oh, works for the football, too. He does all.
Primera coming forward as his camp suggested he might try and do, but Taylor continues to use the jab effectively and keep him at bay with that punch.
I'm very impressed with the hand speed of Jermain Taylor. Sometimes you do find capabilities, but he's up there with as quick as I've seen.
He's had some impressive wins. When he beat Sam Hill in a 10-round decision, it was right after Hill had beaten David Reed, a 1996 Olympian and gold medalist. And now here he is beating Primera right after he had beaten Dante Craigs, a teammate of him on the Olympics.
That jab is a weapon. I mean, that's not a good right hand. Primera's in trouble.
Notice how well Taylor is slipping those jabs. We talk about how he'll do when he gets hit by a top flight middleweight. What has he done?
Absolutely.
Well, that's the case.
I mean, this is a very impressive performance so far. This is
That was a beautiful move. A large counter hook to set him down.
That's it. It's over. I think this was big time. Well, this may be a coming of age of an outstanding young middleweight.
What he does done repeatedly is take fighters, good fighters, maybe not great fighters, but good fighters, and reduce them to fighters that don't look very good. I've seen it in 4 of his fights, and this is an example.
This was very impressive right from the opening bell. He just never let Primera fight. And I don't think that had to do with anything that Primera didn't do. It had everything to do with what Jermain Taylor did do.
You made the point, Barry, and it's true. We're used to seen that kind of hand speed and combination punching by middleweights or by welterweights or lightweights or people below them. You don't always see it in middleweight.
No, this was a very impressive performance. We're going to get a chance to look back on earlier in that round and then the finish, which was a scintillating left hand.
Jermain Taylor using the jab to set things up at all times. Look at the punishing jab. And then he would continue with the uppercuts and some great punches. The variety of punches is what impresses me so much. He knows exactly the punches to use. Primera goes low and so uses the uppercut. And what impressed me about this is a counter left hook that sends him down. He's really not a counter puncher. That's not his stock in trade. But guess what? He knows how to do it. And that, I thought, was impressive.
I'd be very interested to see his connect percentage because it had to be extremely high. He didn't waste any punches at all in that fight and didn't miss a whole lot. Let's go to Michael Buff, make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, following the knockdown, referee Elmo Adolph waves off the 10 count and calls a halt to the bout. The official time, 2 minutes and 12 seconds of round number 5. The winner by knockout victory. He is still the undefeated pride of Little Rock, Arkansas, Jermain Bad Intentions
Jermain Taylor, in most impressive fashion, dismisses of Marcos Primera in the 5th round. And did it before the home folk and did it very impressively. And this was one of those fights where it wasn't just a win. It was an impressive victory for him. And believe me when I tell you that everybody in the middleweight division is going to sit up and take notice of this young man from Little Rock, Arkansas. This was a guy that was supposed to fight somebody else. He changed sparring partners midway. And he really proved himself as the real deal. Who's that guy next to Lou DiBella? I wasn't quite sure. Will yourself to win this fight, said Pat Burns, and he certainly did that. And the outcome of this fight was really never in doubt. Right now, Jermain Taylor's with my pal, Al Bernstein. Al?
Well, thank you, Barry. Yeah, he did will himself to win this fight. You did more than that. I'm guessing you have to feel like this was your most impressive performance as a pro. Please tell me it was. I'd feel bad if you didn't say it was.
I felt like I wasn't throwing enough combinations.
You're going to make me feel bad by saying
I know, but I just felt like I should have did a lot more combinations. I think the jab was on, and I just should have worked off my combinations a lot more. But overall, I give myself a B.
Yeah, I think you might deserve a B. You were able in this fight to use the jab effectively, almost right from the get-go. Now, he was talking to you a lot, trying to get you off your game, maybe taunt you to make you lose your concentration, but it didn't work.
Well, I've never had nobody talk to me. He's a great fighter, man. I'm not gonna say it didn't distract me because it really did. I've never had it happen before.
You're the most honest fighter on the planet. Go ahead.
But I loved it though. I had fun, man. And I love this sport. This is my sport, boxing. I learned a lot from this kid though.
Well, was it great fighting here in front of your home crowd? You said it wouldn't be a distraction, and you said it wouldn't make you overreach or do something you weren't supposed to do. You kind of fed off this energy, it looked like.
I did. If I know the crowd dying down, I kind of picked it up a little bit, just for the crowd. I saw I had him on the rope, saw him, had him hurt, but I didn't want to waste a lot of punches, so I just took my time. And the knockout came. I didn't rush it. It just came unexpectedly.
Now, we talk a lot about, and I'm sure you hear this from people, what will you do when you get hit by a great middleweight or a really big puncher? But the fact of the matter is you are slipping punches so well that you might not get hit for a little while.
I've been working on it in the gym, trying to slip it off. I get it from Lamar Murphy, man. I give him a lot of credit because I watch him in the ring and he slips a lot. But I've been working on it a lot.
Let me get Pat Burns in here. Pat, come on, sneak in here. I want to ask you talk about the drill you have where you guys throw to the body for 5 or 6 rounds and you can't even throw to the head. He mixed in that body work very, very effectively tonight as well.
Yeah, he did. We like you, I'll reiterate what you said, we do a lot of times 4 or 5 rounds of sparring. Absolutely no hitting to the head. We only work the body. And then what we're trying to do, I'm trying to teach him how to set up. We call it decoy. Bang, 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 and then he steps to right, step left, or double up on it.
I want to ask you about his defense, because I've had the privilege of seeing 4 or 5 of his fights. I thought his defense was better tonight and continually gets better.
You know what we do? A lot of times I'll make him get in the ring, put his hands down, put the guy in front of him. He's not allowed to throw punches. He can't bring his hands up, so he's got to work his head. Then we bring his hands up, throw punches. He's got to parry punches, block, step around, and move it. Listen, without defense, you're not going to be a world champion.
How close is he to fighting for a world championship, or how close is he to being ready to fight a top contender or world champion?
Well, he's moving really quick. He's really developing really, really fast. I still want to see him get hit hard. I want to see him get himself in some trouble and work his way out of it. The idea is not to get to the world championship, is to get there and win it and hold on to it. And hopefully we fight again on HBO on March 17th. Hopefully he'll do a lot better, and he's right back here in Little Rock on August 8th. I'm sorry, May 17th.
All right, before you go, just tell us real quickly how gratifying it was to do this in front of your home crowd.
I love it, man. Arkansas love me. I love you, Arkansas. Man, it's beautiful fighting at home.
Congratulations, great effort.
I'm coming back August 8th, too.
All right, just for the record, I'm going to give him a B+, really. Let's go back to Barry Tompkins.